Welcome, everybody, back to the Talk of the Town podcast. I'm your host, Andy Burrows, and as you can see or hear, I'm joined by my co-host, Dunstable Town Vice Chairman, Mr. Matty Carrington. Matty, how are you, sir? Happy Monday.
Yeah, indeed. It's always a Monday, isn't it? Yeah, not so bad, mate. Just busy, squirreling away, ready for next season, mate.
Yes, mate. Not long now, mate. The lads will be back in pre-season in about 3 weeks. But we're not talking all Dunstable Town this week. We thought we'd take a little trip up the M1/A41, whichever how you get there. Someone that's been very busy and a club that we mentioned last week on the podcast. We've got a lot of great friends down there. So happy for them. So we thought, hey, why not chat about it? So joining us on the podcast today, as you can see, is the Leverstock Green Chairman, Emma Smart. Emma, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Very well. Tired, but very well.
I was going to say, I'm okay, thank you. I'm hoping like all the hangovers have gone down in like the Hemel Hempstead area. I've seen lots of great things flying around on social media. I do follow Fergie on socials. But Emma, just talk to us, like you say, we're going to venture around the leagues over the next couple of weeks on the podcast and speak to various different people. Why talking Dunstable Town as well? But what's it been the last week? You've got promoted. You won the Gladwich Cup this past weekend, beating London Lions. What has the past week been like over at Levy?
Bit of a whirlwind, to be honest. Amazing, but a blur at the same time. It's been absolutely, trying to remember it all and keep it. And just, it's been absolutely insane. We wanted it. We've always wanted it. But to actually get there is, I think, because we're still playing football and we've still got a few finals to go. We've still got one more final to go. It's not really sunk in. We've not had a chance for it to really sink in, and I think once we stop playing it will be like, okay, this has actually happened, kind of thing. So it's been a bit of a whirlwind week for sure.
Obviously, like I've seen my good mate Fergus Moore, I know him really well, Willstone legend, by the way, and used the hashtag little old Levy. If you had said at the start of the season to where you are now, was it always the plan to, like me and Matty said, we make no bones about it. We'd love to have gone up this season, last season. I don't get clubs that go, well, it's all right. We'll just be okay at step 5 football. No, I mean, you always want to go up. But the hashtag little old Levy did catch on. Fergie, he made me laugh with some of his tweets. I love some of the people that he was tweeting at. Was it something, so when you sat down this time last season, obviously of ambitions of getting promoted, because like you say, you make no bones about it, like clubs like ourselves and the biggest budgets aren't flying around in the world. We're not, unfortunately, we can't all be real Bedford. So was it a surprise that you went up, or as you got closer to the end of the season where you're thinking, hang on a minute, we're creeping into the playoffs, then we've got the playoffs, we could actually get promoted? As a chairman, do you think, are you seeing it from two sides? You're like, this is going to be amazing, we're getting promoted, then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, how do we plan for step 4 football?
I'll be honest, it literally has been like that. I think we sat down beginning of the season and we said, we'd like to have a bit of a run in some of the cups. And knowing we had the opportunity was there to potentially get into a playoff. Now that they've brought it into the spot and in step 5, we were like, why not? The first year we had Scott and Ferg, they finished 8th in the league. Last year they finished 7th in the league and won the St Mary's Cup. So for us, it was like, we can do it. Let's just, if we get there, fantastic, and let's just push as high as we can and as far as we can. And I think as the season kind of got on, we had a bit of a dip, and then we won 6 games on the trot. And I think for us, that was the turnaround for us. When we won the 6 games on the trot, it was kind of like okay, we could actually be up there. And, after Christmas, it was, maybe I need to start thinking about this. Maybe this could actually, we could get into the playoffs. And then when it actually, come April, we had, just like everybody else did, we had so many games in such a short space of time. And it just, you watch all the others around you, and there come a point where I stopped looking at Twitter on a Saturday afternoon because I just needed to focus on Leverstock and just worry about what we were doing. And it's so addictive to start, going through the tweets, seeing how everyone else is getting on. But yeah, I think it kind of come beginning of April, it was kind of like, okay, there is a chance we could do this. So I'm really, really excited, but I also need to bring it down and go, right, okay, what have we got to do? You've got to start thinking about it, but you don't want to jinx it. Just, if you get there, you get there, kind of thing. And we got into the playoff semi-finals, and we faced Harpenden, which they were on 7 wins on the bounce. So for us, it was a tricky game. We went in knowing it was going to be a difficult game. And then to come away with a 3-1 win was just, yeah, even now, I can't really explain how it felt. It was just mad. And then to know that we then had 4 days to try and set up the home tie against Romania, which again, none of us would have expected. It was a really, really busy 4 days trying to get everything organised. And, you know, with a crowd of over 900 there, it was amazing for us as a club. But then to actually win promotion that day was just incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Emma, just before I let Matty come in with a few questions, how do you go now about planning for step 4 football? Is there things you need to do for the ground? And like you say, you're starting to look around April, you're thinking, hang on a minute, can we actually do this? So when you put your chairman hat back on for a little bit, do the cogs start turning? Because I've got a few friends at Leighton Town and I've spoke to them and they found it a little bit harder than what they thought they might in step 4. I mean, we spoke, obviously we had Joe Deeney as our manager and he always used to say there's not a massive gulf, but there is that gulf. I mean, like I said at the start, we're not all real Bedfords, and fair play to them. They've got the budget they've got. What goes in now to planning for step 4 football? Because I don't know about you, but our season starts the end of July. So the turnaround is not that long. You've got a little bit of a break, like you say. I think for you, because you're still playing football, you've got one more cup final to go, which is great. And we wish you all the best and hope you win that as well. But what do you do now? How do you plan for step 4 football, like with the ground, with the play, like with the budget that you've got to create to try and sustain step 4 football?
For us, it's, you know, we don't have a budget. It's never been something that we've been able to push forward. The boys get a bonus. They get a win bonus. They get a drink behind the bar after the game. And so for us, it's, you know, we need to try and generate some more money. Mainly from sponsors. You know, it's how all of our clubs run in step 5. You know, you rely on sponsors and people to come in that want to show a bit of interest into the club. And you know, we're quite lucky. We've got Lord's Building Merchants as our main sponsor, so they you know, they really support us as a club and things like that. But we've got stuff to do around the ground. We've got new stands to put in. We've got fences to put up. We've got turnstiles to put in, outside toilets. You know, there's quite a lot that need doing. But it's just trying to sit down together as a group and working out ways to do it in the best way for us, rather, you know, but not putting the club at any danger at the same time as well. So yeah, it's, you know, it's, you listen to a lot of the clubs at step 5, you know, we all have the same conversations about budgets and what we can afford and things like that. You know, I'd say most of probably the top 14 have all got a budget from the Spartans. So, you know, for us, the fact that we've managed to do this without having a budget, we've done it mainly on team spirit, and the group that we've got are just, a lot of people used to say, you know, I really want a group like you guys have got, and they are a fantastic bunch of guys. They really are, and we can hope that they'll all stick around and see us into step 4 and, you know, see what they can do. It is going to be a challenge for everybody, for the players, for the management, for all of us off the, you know, off the pitch as well. It's going to be a challenge for all of us, but we all know where we want to be. We all know that this is what we all wanted, and we'll face the challenges and try and do it as best we can, I suppose.
Mate?
Yeah, you've obviously mentioned about sponsors getting involved in that, you know, without wanting to give any of our sponsors your way. The passion that you guys show down there is to be commended, and you know, I just wanted to just add my congratulations to it. Emmy, you've obviously chairperson for some time now, and obviously I know that your father was part of the club as well. How much pride must you have at this current time of your dad potentially looking down and saying that, looking at little old Levy?
Honestly, like, it's mad. It keeps coming back to me, thinking like, what would he be thinking? You know, and I carried on this. I did the chairman's role, knowing in the back of my head what he wanted to do, how he wanted to take the club, and I've tried to do that, and I feel like now I've gained that, because he always wanted to push it as far as we could go, and he knew that we could do it. So, you know, the amount of messages that I've had in the last week have just been out of this world. Honestly, And a lot of people, it's because they knew Dad, and they can just imagine how proud Dad would be. And it gives me a lot of pride to know that I'm not, under my reign as chairman, it's happened.
Yeah, fantastic. And I came and saw you guys in I think it was a St Mary's semi-final down at Tring. I have to say, that pitch was a massive leveler that day. But what I liked about your team all season, albeit you lost against us, just saying, is the fact that for this season,
I knew he was going to mention it.
I've got to take glory. Honestly, it's been one hell of a season, hasn't it? Yeah. What I have to just say is the grit and determination behind your team. As you say, there's a real good team spirit amongst them, and from everybody, from the kit man all the way up to yourself, you all just need to be commended for that. I guess the difficult part now though is, have you even thought about what league you're going to end up in? Because you're in a real disadvantaged area potentially. You could end up in the central, you could end up in the south, or do you not even care? You just like, we're step 4, just put us where you want.
I'd like to say I don't care, but I do care. I think from us as a club, ideally for us, the Southern League Central.
Yeah.
Along with, we could join Leighton again, Stockport, Kings Langley, Berkhamsted. For us, that would just be absolutely spot on. So yeah, for us, we'd like to go in there. At the moment, we don't know. Obviously, once the FA allocations come out, but for us, that would be perfect placement.
Yeah, and again, if you just keep that group mentality there, I have no concerns of you playing in the league, and hopefully at the end of next season, we'll be able to play you again. Because I must admit, whilst I've enjoyed some times down at Levy, it's going to be a miss you guys in the league next season.
I've heard a rumor of a pre-season friendly. I don't want to. I've heard a rumor, just a rumor.
I'm not starting any rumors.
Just a rumor. I've heard a little whisper from someone that we might be going down to Levy to play a friendly. Emma, just before we let you get out of here, I know you've been super busy all day, so we won't keep you too long. I mentioned chatting to you on text, and we mentioned this, me and Matt and our chairman Andrew. Non-league's it's a strange way that it's organised. We usually find out things like lastminute.com, like you say. You guys might not even know June, July, when you might not even know what league you're in. We won't know really what teams are coming across to ours. Is there any changes as a chairman of Levy? If you could just have your 10p worth, like with the powers that be, Matt went up and spoke for us to get the season started on a Saturday, and it's now starting in July, which is great. What kind of changes would you like to see at the non-league level if you could make any?
I think a lot of us this year, mainly step 5, because obviously that's where we've been. I'm not quite sure how step 4's been, but I think the one thing I would change is that seasons they've got to start earlier, but they've also got to be filled up early as well. We need to be playing Saturday, Tuesday. It's beginning of the season, the pitches are in good condition, the players are ready to go, and I think when you leave midweek games out, it's just, you look at all the issues we've all had this year with the weather, and it's not going to get any better. Let's face it. The last 2 seasons, we've had one season of extreme freezing and then thawing, so it flooded all the pitches, and then this year we've just had an insane amount of rain. So I think it's not going to get any better. And personally, I think the seasons need to start and be every day, every Saturday, Tuesday for, at least August, September, October even, just to try and make everybody's life a little bit easier at the end. The groundsmen, the managers, the players. We get told we can't play on a pitch because there's one area that's not good for player safety, and yet they're all expected to, you look at Cockfosters, for instance, they're expected to play on a Monday, a Tuesday, a Thursday and a Saturday, and the Saturday before that. That's got to be about player safety and stuff as well. So I think that needs to be taken into account. And like you said, to not know, we've taken that step to promotion and we don't know, sitting here now, what league we're going to be in. It's really difficult for clubs to plan. It's difficult for us to, start going out there to sponsors and start going out there to, get some new people into the club when we don't actually know where we're going to be. It's really difficult to start promotion and start pushing it all out there when we don't know what league we're going to be in. You know, I'm sure you said to some sponsors, you know, we're going to be playing the likes of Berkhamsted and the likes of Kings Langley and Hitchin, and to some sponsors, they're like, that sounds great. But if I then start saying, well, we're going to be playing teams that are down south, to them it probably might not be quite so great because they're not local. So yeah, for us, it's difficult to start that push of where we need to be and what we need to do because we don't know where we're going to be at. So I just think a little bit more preparation earlier might help out a little bit, you know, for teams like us.
Yeah, no, we've said, Matty, how long have we said Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday at the start of the season? I mean, Matty greatly spoke up last season. Our season starts on the 27th of July. Then we've got the FA Cup on the 5th of August. I'm hoping if like you say, Emma, they should go Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday till October. You know, because we know come December, January, and February, we're probably not going to play a lot of football. You know, we know we've had our issues at Creasy, you've had it at Levy. I've got friends at MK Irish. We've got great friends over at Aylesbury Dynamos. Look at the issues they've had. Fosters couldn't play a home game for God knows how long. So it does happen. It does happen. So yeah, I hope that the league, that is one thing me and Matty mention that all the time. But Emma, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Me and Matty are going to chop up some Dunstable Town now, but we'll let you go. I hope we see you pre-season. One thing I'm really going to miss, apart from I get on so well with a lot of your guys, I want to miss your T-bar, by the way.
The burgers.
The burgers, Emma. If you could just maybe send your burger man down when you're not playing. If we could just pop down to Creasy, I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to miss the food at Levy. I absolutely love it.
I'll pass that one on.
I really do. But Emma, thanks so much. Honestly, I hope we do see you pre-season so we can come and see you in person. But honestly, great. When we're not playing on a Saturday, I know a few of us will probably drive down the M1 and watch you guys play. But yeah, send our regards to Scotty and Ferg. Honestly, congratulations for everything you've done. Good luck in your remaining cup final. I hope you win that as well. But thanks so much for taking the time with us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
No worries. Thanks, Emma. Thank you. Thank you. Matty, always great to speak to Emma. What such a lovely person. Just obviously, I know your time's short as well today, Matt. I know you've got to whiz up to Creasy to have a meeting. So what inspiration though, Matt, when you just listen to Emma speak, no budget, players get a bonus. As a Dunstable Town fans, just sitting there thinking, it can be done, Matt. You know what I mean? We mention all the times, and I've said them a few times, the Real Bedfords and the other teams that are up there in this league. You don't need to chuck a shed load of money at it to try. You look at like what Emma just said there, the bond that squad had down at Levy. As a Dunstable Town, you know, you're the vice chairman. I'm just a Dunstable Town fan and someone that does like the media side of things. That just listening to her speak, thinks, wow, why can't we do that next season? All right, yeah, different clubs are run different ways. We've got a budget, they don't have a budget. You know, that's fair play, and they've done it. But just sit and listen to Emma speak, Matty. What inspiration do you take from that as we go into our own campaign to try and we want to be this? I'm not going to sit here and deny it. We want to be where Levy are this time next season. Me and you want to be talking about Dunstable in Step 4.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I must admit, I was having a look at their posts over the past couple of weeks, just thinking, should have been us. It should have been us. And it's really frustrating for me to sit here thinking we have another season Step 5. But hey, it's the hands we've been dealt. We just need to find a way to move forward, and hopefully this time next year we'll be having that conversation. But yeah, how are we going to get there? I obviously have a lot of faith in, or had a lot of faith in Joe Deeney and the lads that was with him. There did seem to be a good team bond. I think hopefully that's something that Steve will be able to instill and carry on to a certain extent as well. Obviously bringing in his own, using the current squad and bringing in his own players. I think that will only strengthen it. And there's certain bits and pieces I want to see from the guys, you know, sort of, you know, going out for social events, you know, just getting to know each other to begin with, because there's going to be a few new members in the team. But if they get the right dynamic in the dressing room right, I have no doubts that we could potentially be challenging towards the top at the end of next season. Do I want it? Absolutely. Yeah. I wouldn't be vice chair and part of the club as in on the board and that, if I didn't think that we had the ability to go on and succeed at step 4. But yeah, it's all about making sure we get the right players in, and getting the right sort of gelling amongst others. But yeah, honestly, with the plans that Steve, Rob, and Liam have got, I have no worries about it whatsoever. I'm very excited about the next season. I mean, yes, I know my season ended probably 3 or 4 weeks ago because I got ready to start the plan, the ball rolling for plans for next season. So I think I'm kind of a little bit further ahead than most in terms of planning. But yeah, I'm really excited about next season. I can't wait to start the ball rolling.
What's the feedback been obviously Steve's been in now, what, a week or so? How's the feedback been received from your end? I mean, I've got some great feedback on the interview that we've done with him. Everyone's like, a lot of people have texted me personally that like kind of know him from like, and Robin, and they've known of Rob and Liam that going around the non-league circuit, or everything I've heard. And I've been fortunate. I've been able to speak to Steve a fair bit over text message, just trying to arrange a few things. But you get talking about just football and life, and I'm really impressed with what his vision for the club. What's the feedback been obviously from like a board level since you've made the appointment to where we are now?
Yeah, really positive. As I said, we're starting the planning stage now. So on Saturday we sat down as a group of directors and kind of thought about how we can refresh some bits and pieces, and all of it came back to just how we can. This is the ideal opportunity to give Steve everything that he needs to achieve the ambition of himself and the club. And don't get me wrong, at certain stages, I think that we're going to have to speed up what we are doing in the back of behind the scenes to keep up his ambition, because he's got big plans. But that's our job. The bottom line is, I've said it many times, we're only here as custodians of the club. We're here to make sure there's a club in 50, 60 years time. And yeah, this is literally the next step of doing that.
I mean, you're right there what you say. I mean, the more successful we are on the pitch, I mean, Emma mentioned sponsors there. If we head up to step 4 football, that helps. I mean, Emma mentioned like it's dependent on what league they're in. Like you say, if you're playing the Hitchens, who've got a great following, Kings Langley got a great following. We have it occasionally in our level. Leighton bring a good crowd. MK Irish bring a good crowd when we play them. But if and I don't. This is not disrespectfully. When you have teams like a Stansted and a Sawbridge Worth having to travel to Creasy, they're not going to bring the support. You're not going to have the 400, the 450, the 500. Like, you know what I mean? If you had a Hitchin in town, if you had a Leighton, if you had a Kings Langley, if you had a Berkhamsted, wow, they get great support. So, the quicker that we can get up the leagues, and I'm hoping that Steve does it. I'm sure he will. I mean, speaking to him, I know that he's got great plans for this football club, but that's where it flips to you guys and us off the field. It's like, right, we do go up a level, like Emma said there, you're kind of already thinking, how do you plan for step 4? This isn't the Premier League. You're not getting the FA dish loads of money and go, right, look at Luton when they come up. You go, here's a pot of money that we've given you for getting promoted. This is non-league football. Like Emma again, well, she said, and yourself, Matt, we then kind of have to look, right, we need to attract this sponsor. We need to maybe look at this is how we budget for a step 5. This is how we budget to get to a step 4. You know what I mean? You're always people that say, oh, well, you're a bit cocky thinking about, oh, we're already planning to get, like, you have to plan.
Yeah, definitely.
You have, this is people's money. We haven't got, there's not a billionaire sitting behind us going, it's all right, Matt. If you do go up, mate, I'll give you a bell and I'll just bung loads of money in your bank account. That's not how it works. And, and structures of leagues do affect that, because if Levy got put in the one where they're traveling down south, a player might be thinking, I don't finish work till 5 o'clock. There's no way I'm getting to the other side of London or Birmingham. Chat to Lee Brown, like I always say, the goalkeeper coach of MK Irish. Some of their players, last season, not the one just gone, the one before, they couldn't make midweek games away in Coventry and Birmingham and West Bromwich and places like that. So that's where the league do have to look at clubs and go, right, Leverstock, MK, you've always said to me, we're very rarely going to get moved because of where we're located. But half an hour down the road, Leverstock, 20 minutes up the road, MK Irish, they're being sent around the country on a Tuesday night. So when you are budgeting, Matt, you do think of that. And when you're trying to sign players, you'll be like, look, mate, you're not really going to have to travel a million miles to play football on your Saturday. So if you've got a young family, if you've got work, that all plays into a factor into non-league football, doesn't it?
100%, 100%. And I mean, at the level that we're at, you're not going to have the ability to, unless as we use the previous examples, you're not going to have the ability to bankroll somebody, so they don't have to worry about working. And that's why it's important to make sure that there is that sort of atmosphere within the team. Because if the Levy team went into the South Division now, yes, it would be a struggle for them, but I think that team bond might be enough to get them through. Whereas if they didn't have that team bond, as you say, people are more than happy to go up the road for another 10, 20 pounds if they're not happy within the club they are. So it hammers home just how important it is to create that good atmosphere for the players, for the fans, because it's crucial that we help each other with it.
Yeah, mate. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Anything else to report, Matty, before I let you get out to your youth team meeting? Anything else going on in the club that you need to inform us about? I'll just a quick one from me. The walking football team are over at Flitwick Leisure Centre this weekend. Anyone that wants to go and watch them. And the under-18s already have a pre-season friendly away at Barton on Saturday. So Dan Roberts has told me to make sure I mention this on the podcast. Pre-season starting, the under-18s. I've got a pre-season friendly away at Barton this coming Saturday. If you need a
Love it.
Yeah, brilliant. If I wasn't I don't think my mum will let me miss her wedding for Dunstable under-18s. I could try, but I don't think. But anything else, Matty, to come out of the club and since I've last spoke to you?
Yeah, so stay tuned over the next couple of days because we will be announcing our front shirt sponsor, which is really excited about having that announced, which is great. And just looking at the kit with the sponsor in front of the kit, it looks lush, I have to admit. It's a kit that, as long as I get one in my size, I'll probably go and get one this season myself.
All fans can buy it this season. Dan said he's going to order enough that the clubs, when you walk into the ground on a Saturday, you can buy a Dunstable Town shirt.
Absolutely. Beyond that, as I say, on Saturday, we've sat down with the board of directors and had a bit of a conversation about things that we want to be doing moving forward. So if there's anything that anybody wants to help us out with, we'll start releasing the details of what we've discussed soon. But if anybody can offer us anything in terms of help, be it helping move some stuff about, be it helping with social media or anything like that, just get in contact with the club and we'll be more than happy to exploit you.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, we will exploit you as well. We won't have no airs and graces with us lot. But yeah, like I say, you can find us on all social media now. We are on YouTube, the YouTube channel. Again, I say it every episode. Big thanks to Brad, what he does over there. He set up a great thing over there. Me and Brad are headed down to Creasy Park on Thursday to sit down with Rob and Liam. We're going to go and meet Steve's backroom staff this Thursday. So that'll be out either Thursday or Friday. Give poor old Brad a little break. I know pre-season training is not too far away. I know the friendlies are going to be, I know they're getting work, so I'm guessing they're going to be announced in the next 3 or 4 weeks. So keep an eye out on the socials for Dunstable Town friendlies. But yeah, follow us on Twitter at DTFC Pod. But the main place you can find us now is on YouTube. Just type in Talk of the Town podcast. You can find us there, shared via the Dunstable Town Facebook and YouTube channels. Matty, we will do this all again next week, mate. Good luck with your meeting. And I'll catch you next week, buddy. This has been the Talk of the Town podcast. I've been your host, Andy Burrows. That has been the amazing Matty Carrington. Till next time, everybody, as always, up them mighty Blues.